Billy, my daughter-in-law, rather, called me way in the night and said there was a man named Andy Herman, which is a cousin of mine, was laying dying in the hospital. I went out to see him, but they doped him so much that he's asleep, and I couldn't talk to him. The next morning, I asked God to keep him alive till I could. He's a good man, but he just wasn't a Christian. He's not an uncle, he's a cousin, married a cousin of mine. And then, when Aunt Adie told me standing there, she said, Billy, all these 80 years of his life, he hasn't served God. But said a few weeks ago, he was sitting in the house, 80 years old, of course, he doesn't do much manual labor, but said, he called her and said, Adie, you know what? Christ came before me here just a few minutes ago. She looked at him and said, Andy, what's the matter? He said, no. He stood right here before me and he said something. Said, what did he say? It's later than you think. In a few weeks from then, 2 or 3 weeks, he was stroked and laying paralyzed yonder in the hospital dying. I said, Aunt Adie, shame on you for not calling me or somebody to get his heart in condition for this hour that he's now arrived at. I asked the Lord the next morning when he couldn't talk, so I just asked him, I said, can you hear me, Uncle Andy? And he could nod his head a little and move his jaws. I prayed for him. Had him to confess his sins before God. I wanted to baptize him. And Aunt Adie wanted to be baptized. I went down the hall to see a young lady that lives in the neighborhood here that was going to send to the mental hospital. And the Lord done a great thing for her. Come home. Then on the road up, I met a colored sister. And she said, aren't you Brother Branham? And I said, I am. She said, you remember me? I'm Miss Dry. And I said, yes, I believe I do. Pete Dry and them. I said, yeah, I remember you. She looked into the room, and when we did, I wonder why she said that. There Uncle Andy, done raised up in the bed and sitting up there, moving his hands and arms like anybody else, trying to get the bed thing down so he could get out there and get away. Now, they're coming to be baptized in the name of the Lord Jesus, he and his wife. So, but what I said that for, it's later than we think.